Hi, my name is Lucy Edwards and I'm a Bach flower practitioner and founder of Mindful Remedies. Today I want to talk to you about some flower remedies that can help with grief. And grief can take many forms and people experience it in very different ways. So I've got quite a number here to talk through. And in terms of selecting your flower remedies, it's just important to select the ones that resonate with you most and that resonate with you most in this present moment. So the way we select the remedies is thinking about what's going on in the current day and then work inwards in terms of what might be more buried. So kind of quite simple, select what you see on the outside. And grief can also be very current and very present, and it can be something that is ongoing and has been there for a while. So the flower remedies can support grief in all forms and for as long as it has been around for. Okay, so I'll talk through each flower remedy in turn, and hopefully some of these resonate with you and you might find them helpful. So the first one is Star of Bethlehem. Star of Bethlehem is for shock and trauma. And so that kind of real raw emotion, and it just helps bring comfort to the sadness that you might be feeling as a result of this shock or trauma or grief that you've been going through. The second one is Honeysuckle. Honeysuckle is for your mind is stuck in the past. So you keep replaying something or going back to the good old days and you just can't move on. Your mind is just stuck in the past. It could be regrets for something, or it could be wistful for happier times. But it's all about helping you to leave that where it was, not forget about those memories, but to move forward and move forward with your life. The next one is Sweet Chestnut. Sweet Chestnut is for a real despair. So you feel like you've reached the end of your tether. You just are at the depths of despair and in a really emotional and raw place. So it's all about helping you to find hope and opportunity going forward, and to kind of just see the light, really. The next one is Gorse, and Gorse is for where you just have completely lost all hope and you are very low. You've just completely given up. So Gorse can help bring a little bit of light and sunshine and hope into your life, that things can get better. The next one is Willow. Willow is for resentment and bitterness. And this might show up for any number of reasons during the grieving process. You might be feeling resentful that other people are getting on with their lives, or why is it me? And life is so unfair. So this remedy is all about helping you to see things in perspective and kind of reduce that bitterness and resentment. The next one is Holly. Holly is for anger. And this might be something that shows up at some point during the grieving process, maybe anger towards the person who's passed away. So it's a kind of real rage, strong emotion of anger, maybe jealousy, spite, those sort of emotions. So it's about opening your heart up to love and releasing those feelings of anger. The next one is Pine. Pine is for guilt. This could show up if you are feeling guilty as the person who's still around. So it's all about taking too much responsibility and too much blame on yourself, and perhaps that isn't in perspective. So it might be that it's not your fault, but you're really taking on so much of this emotion of guilt and blaming yourself for whatever's happened. So this is about seeing things in a kind of better perspective and not taking on too much of that guilt and responsibility. The next one is red chestnut. And red chestnut is for over anxiety for your loved ones. So it might be that another member of your family, you're very anxious about how they're coping with the grief, and you can't stop worrying about them. And of course, this is a natural emotion in lots of instances, but it can err into going out of balance, and it's too much. So this is just about still loving and having concern for someone, but not having it all-consuming. And then the final two are water violet, which is for people who have become too disconnected and isolated and solitary. So perhaps if your partner or spouse has passed away and you have then retreated into the world, or retreated away from the world, and you have just become too solitary and isolated, and this is all about helping you reconnect. Getting back out there and connecting with other people. And the final one is walnut, and walnut is a lovely remedy. It's really helpful during times of change. It helps you to, it's very grounding, very stabilising. It just helps you to navigate change, staying true to yourself, staying true to who you are, and not letting events knock you off course. So it's just a little protective bubble around yourself, and yeah, very grounding. I hope that was helpful, and I hope that you can find some comfort in the grieving process. If you have any questions at all, feel free to drop a comment below. You can create a remedy at my website, which is mindfulremedies.co.uk. You can select up to 7 remedies from the 38 different flower remedies, and you can select from the whole range, so it doesn't matter about if there's other ones that you connect with outside of these ones I've spoken about here. There's no kind of best combination or anything like that. It's about what's going to help you in this present moment in what you're going through. And I also offer consultations online if you would like some kind of bespoke advice and you'd like specific recommendations about what you're going through, or you're having trouble selecting which remedies you think will be best for you. I hope that was helpful, and I'm sending love.